Alright guys, so today is going to be a video about what happens when you don't spend much time in the garden due to the weather. Also had a passing of a family member as well. Don't really want to get into that right now, but the garden is a little worse for wear. 2 tomato plants have been laying on their sides for probably about a week now. Some of the beans, the plants look a little yellow, so they're lacking a bit of water, even though we've had actually some I think it was 2 thunderstorms and a lot of winds. Some things are dying off, some things are just aren't doing very well, and some other things that are doing really well. So butternut squash is doing really good. Tomatoes, despite being all over on their sides, are doing really well. Peppers are actually... So, peppers, finally. It's awesome. I see actually quite a few. So those are doing really well now. Beets, not really sure. Well, when we'll be picking those. Yellow beans, I gotta pick some of those. Got some zucchini here. 3 big ones. The pumpkins are finally getting orange spots on them, so I don't know if you guys can see that. Orange spots, but they are changing color. The plant is, well, could look better. Seen better days. Beets, beans, beans. So, lots of yellow beans. I gotta pick all these. I gotta get a box. Some more cucumbers. Now, what you're supposed to be doing is picking them when they are this size right here. That size. No bigger than the width of my hand. It's probably, I don't know, 2, 3, approximately 3 inches. Not, I don't know, 6. Because then they also get way too fat and it's kind of hard to pickle them. Now, these ones, I think I finally figured these out. These are, I believe, to be spaghetti squash. We've never grown before. This was one of the ones where my dad picked a random package and threw it in the soil. In terms of the weeds, well, you can see lots of weeds still. Still gotta do that. Corn. We do have some husks, so we'll see how far they go in terms of growing. They're not very big. I don't know if I can get an actual photo here or not. Video, but you know what I mean. So yeah, a husk. So I don't know, roughly the same size as the cucumber, I guess, but not very many. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, I'm just basically doing damage control on this. You know, I mean, there's some good stuff and bad stuff. Obviously the tomatoes that are laying down on the ground, lots of red ones, which is awesome, but as you can see, the plant is no longer standing up. Should be like that, not like that. So today's damage control, then a little bit of weeding so far. I'm actually going to put on some gloves because some of the weeds are actually, if you actually let them grow too big, they become really, really spiky. And I've already got some plant juice on my fingers. So my fingers are already green, but that's okay. I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of added protection today, just because it's such a mess. And I also pulled some radishes. And surprisingly enough, if you pick radishes too late, you allow them to get too big, they also develop little prickly spikes on their stems as well. So I actually got stabbed earlier when I was picking the radish. So, you know, just tips that you learn along the way. You know, don't let anything get like this. I mean, that's from the wind. You know, obviously the mold is not a good thing. That's something that I've kind of been struggling with. It's the only thing that really plagues the garden. is the mold and whatever is growing on the beets, but that could be insects for all I know. So those two things, and then obviously the storms and the wind has really messed everything up a little bit, but I mean, I'm kind of standing in the way there with my shadow, but it's a pretty good haul. I mean, take zucchini. These are actually the size that you guys want to use if you are keeping the seeds. So these are massive, absolutely massive. If you are growing a lot of them, it's better to pick them when they're smaller. Makes it really easy to use them in salads and everything, and cooking and stir fries. But that's around with the big ones, especially if you want to keep the seeds. So yeah, that is the update for now, and I'll be back with more weeding. Obviously, I'm gonna go along and pick some of the yellow beans and everything else. Try to fix these tomato plants. Maybe drive some stakes in and use some rope to hold them up. And then, yeah, that'll be pretty much it. And well, it's actually pretty hot today, so provided I'm not dying out here in the heat, you know, and being dehydrated and whatever, you know, I might go and put on my hat and pull out all those weeds, which have been plaguing the garden and the corn, mostly, anyway. But, yeah, this is not what you want your garden to look like at one end. So, anyway, I'll be back.